Hi guys, thanks for joining me again here at Keto Kitchen Chaos with Jackie. I'm so happy that you've decided to join me today because we are going to be making a casserole out of things that I pulled out of the freezer and out of the cupboard. We're going to be making chicken cordon bleu. So normally chicken cordon bleu is a flattened piece of chicken breast that has sliced ham, Swiss cheese, is rolled up, breaded, and then deep fried. Delicious. But that's not what we're doing tonight. We're going to make a keto friendly version just using again some ingredients that I had in the freezer. So we have some ham, I have canned chicken, I have some Swiss cheese that I also had hiding in the freezer, and a couple other little ingredients. So come in and join me in the kitchen and let's get this party started. Alright gang, so here we have our cast of characters for the dinner that I'm preparing for tonight. So the first thing we're going to do is make like a sauce, one to hold everything together, but it's also a sauce that is served over the chicken cordon bleu. And what that is going to be is a block of cream cheese, mayonnaise, some Grey Poupon mustard or regular mustard if you have it, also some Parmesan cheese and a little bit of heavy whipping cream. Then we're going to add our canned chicken, which I'm going to drain, to that, as well as some ham. So the ham I have is 6 slices of just deli cooked ham, something that I've had in the freezer. We always buy lunch meat, especially when it's on sale for the boys to have for lunches when they're home from school, which of course has been forever now. So anyways, I had plenty of ham in the freezer, so that's kind of what inspired me to make this. Was I was looking in the cupboard, I saw the chicken, I was in the freezer, I saw the ham, and I said, I have everything to make that chicken cordon bleu casserole. I haven't made that in a while. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so the first thing we're going to get started is I'm going to put the cream cheese in the microwave for about 30 seconds just to get it softened. And I'm going to go ahead and start draining the chicken. So I'll be back in just a minute to show you how we're going to get all this together. Hey, and we're back. All right, guys, so I have my cream cheese. It's 8 ounces of cream cheese that I have softened in the microwave. I put it in actually for about 40 seconds just to get it soft enough so that I can work with it. To the cream cheese, we are going to add a half a cup of mayonnaise. This is just full fat mayonnaise, so whatever kind of mayonnaise you have laying around the house, go for it. And then the other thing we're going to add to this is a half a cup of heavy whipping cream. So I'm just going to use the same measuring cup. Hopefully it doesn't all scorch anywhere because this is my push one. That should be fine. Okay, now if you don't have heavy whipping cream, half and half would work fine. I just happen to have some from the last time I went to the store. I like to have it for when I make my sauces and stuff. Although if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I will sub out half and half if I do not have heavy whipping cream. So not a problem. If you don't have that, if you even have almond milk, that would work. I would maybe use a little bit less though because it's going to be thinner. The heavy whipping cream is going to thicken this up a little bit. Okay, so we have our cream cheese and we have our mayonnaise and we have our heavy whipping cream. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go in with our Parmesan, or not our Parmesan, with our mustard. All right, so now we're going to go in with a tablespoon, probably a little bit over, of Dijon mustard. Now, again, if you don't have Dijon mustard, you have yellow mustard, stone ground mustard, whatever you have, it just adds that little bit of tang to this. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get this all mixed together. I'm also going to throw some pepper in here, and then once I put the Parmesan in, then I will check the salt content. I'm sure it's going to need a little bit of salt just because the cream cheese doesn't have any flavor in and of itself, just that lovely creamy texture. But again, the mayonnaise and the mustard and the cheese are going to be a little bit salty. So we're going to give that a good stir so that's all incorporated. But I'm going to go ahead and put in some ground black pepper. We like a lot of black pepper, so I go a little heavy-handed with that. All right, so I'm going to continue to stir this just to get it more incorporated, and I have the chicken draining over there in the sink in my colander, so we're just going to, get this going. Okay, so I have that nice and combined, and we're going to go ahead, we're going to add about 1/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. Now I'm using some shredded Parmesan cheese, again, something that I had in the freezer. I actually keep this on hand now. I always have some in the freezer because I make those cheese bagels. If you've not made those, you need to check that recipe out. I'll post a link up there so you can do that. They are delicious. They are my go-to. I have made them with different kinds of cheeses and spices. They make a great sandwich. I slice them in half. Oh, they're my new obsession. So I always have either whole block Parmesan or the already shredded. It just kind of depends on what's on sale at the store. When I bought this was actually half the price of the block. So I bought like 3 containers. So they're just hanging out. I have this one and then I have half one. I actually made those bagels yesterday. Oh gosh, guys, I'm just telling you, they're so good. Anyway, so I'm going to just give this another zhuzh. We're going to give it a little taste. Okay, so that's pretty good. Actually, it's very good. But, you know me, I like flavor. So the chicken itself doesn't have a lot of flavor. So it is kind of salty though. So again, I'm not going to add any salt to this right now. I'm just... Okay, where was I? Oy vey. Always some kind of chaos going on. Sorry, my dog's got in a little scuffle. Sophie was playing with her bear. Jack tried to play with bear. Sophie wasn't having it. So everybody's okay though. All right, so anyways, where was I? Okay, so we added some garlic powder and some onion powder to our mixture. You can add whatever seasonings you want. I think this will probably be it. I think that this will probably make very tasty. Again, everything is cooked. So before I pile it into my casserole dish, I will give it another taste just to make sure that everything tastes good if I think that it needs any additional seasoning. Again, be creative. Use whatever you have. You know your taste buds. Go for it. All right. So give that another little... okay. Oh, God. That's good. All right. Let me go get this chicken, and then we're going to add that to our mixture. All right, now, so guys, I would prefer to use fresh chicken for this. Normally, I make this casserole with leftover chicken. But because of the confinement in the house, not going to the store much, I'm finding that food is much more expensive than it normally is, which is kind of weird. But, I mean, I guess it's because of the demand and some of the plants being shut down. It is what it is. But I'm also a realist. I'm also a working mom who has a full-time job. So I always keep some canned chicken just in case of an emergency dinner, something quick. I don't have to worry about it. So I always try to buy the canned white meat with as little added ingredients as possible. So you want to be careful. Like they add potato starch and some other things. I really just try to get one that is in water and it has like less than 1% of some other slightly questionable ingredients. Now, I will tell you that I do like canned chicken. I am not a snob. I enjoy this. I will sometimes make chicken salad. Again, that's usually like a quick, I need something for work. I forgot to thaw something out. Oh, I've got a can of chicken or I have a can of tuna in the cupboard. So what I am doing is I put it in my colander. I've been draining it. And now I'm just kind of, it's in bigger chunks. So I'm just kind of making it into a little bit of a smaller, bite-sized pieces so that I can mix all that together. So we're just going to do that and get the rest of this chicken. I did use 4 cans and, oops, sorry, Sophie. All right, so 2 of them were 10 ounces and the other 2 were 12.5 ounces. So this casserole is hopefully going to feed us for a couple of days. I plan on serving it over some buttered cauliflower rice with a nice side salad. So hopefully that will fill the boys up enough, maybe even another vegetable for them. Just again, they are growing boys. You never know how much they're going to want to eat. And then again, hopefully I'll have enough for tomorrow. So that's kind of why I'm making a pretty big batch of this. So just again, use whatever you have. If you do have fresh chicken, if you have maybe a rotisserie chicken, use that. I think I only have like another bag full of chicken in the freezer and I kind of want to save that to put on the grill. So again, we're just using what we got, guys. All right, so I'm going to finish making this mess and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have all of my chicken in the bowl and I did give it a little bit of a taste, and of course it doesn't taste bad, but it really has no flavor to it whatsoever. I mean, it tastes like very bland chicken. So what are we going to do? I don't know. I feel like we need to zhuzh that up a little bit. So I think I'm going to use some of that Szechuan that I like. So this is just like a seasonal. It has parsley and garlic and pepper, some salt, and some different things. I am very careful about the pre-seasonings that I use because I try to get them without any added sugar. This one, thankfully, does not have any. So If you don't have that, just use, again, whatever you have. Some Italian seasoning would probably be good in this. I just gave it a couple of zhuzhes there. We'll see. Like I said, we're going to taste all of this once we have this and then the ham combined. And I'm hoping that I actually have enough of my binder, that cream cheese and everything mixed in here. Hi, Jack. That this will combine okay. Oh, I think it is. Okay. Please don't mind the Jack in the background. I hope he doesn't make your dogs bark. He really likes to be heard. He doesn't like to be seen. All right, so we're just going to give that a couple of stirs, and that actually looks really good. Okay. So now we're going to go in and we're going to go in with our ham. So I'm just going to put this over here. Let me grab my ham. Now, the Swiss cheese I'm going to add at the end. Oy, the dogs really want in on the action today. Okay, so, darn it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put in our chopped ham. Like I said, this is just 6 pieces of chopped deli ham that I had in the freezer. And it's just regular cooked ham. Again, just something I usually have on hand. Oh, the Swiss cheese. Okay, so I think I forgot to actually mention that when I was showing you my ingredients. The Swiss cheese, instead of mixing it in here, I think it'll be more delicious if I put it on top, and then that gets all like melted and bubbly and just super yummy delicious. All right, so now we're just going to incorporate our chopped up ham into our chicken mixture. This is looking really good, guys. I'm excited. It's probably been, oh my gosh, maybe a year since I've made this. I don't know why, just kind of one of those things. The stars align right. I have all the ingredients and I think about it. I make a lot of different recipes, so. But this is one that I like to have, especially for George and the boys if I'm working and I'm not here for dinner. This is something that I can make ahead of time. And then he can just throw it in the oven when he wakes up because he works 3rd shift. And then him and the boys have a nice hot dinner. Okay, so we're going to do that. Now, the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to put this aside for the moment, is I'm going to liberally spray my pan. So this is my large baking pan. So that's a 13 by 9. And I'm going to spray the bottom, don't breathe it in, and the sides. And I do it really well to get a lot of coverage so that nothing will stick. That's probably what I use the cooking spray most for anymore. I don't really use it for cooking. I did for many years when I did the low fat thing. Cooking spray was what it was all about. But these days I don't really use it for cooking. I just use it for these types of applications. So I'm going to give our chicken, oh my God, it's heavy. Our chicken mixture a little taste just to kind of see how everybody's getting along here. Again, see if we need any more seasoning to that. I'll grab a spoon. So if we get a little bit of the chicken and a little piece of ham. Oh, guys, that's delicious. Okay, very good. So then we are very carefully going to just put this into our casserole dish. Okay, you don't need to watch me do this, and this is kind of heavy, so I'll be back in a second and we'll put the cheese on top. All right, so we've got all of our chicken mixture in our pan, so we're just going to smush that down in here, and that's going to make a really good size. I definitely think I'll have enough for 2 days worth of dinners, which always makes me happy. Just kind of frees me up from having to think of another meal. It's getting slightly more difficult. I mean, no, I guess not really. Just a little bit because I don't want to go to the store. I really just don't want to be exposed to this stupid virus any more than I have to. And I don't know. I just would rather, like I said, use up all the stuff that I've got hiding out in my freezer. Yeah, I found a couple of small chickens, so I'm going to have to figure out something to do with those. I thought about actually baking them and then putting that in here, but then I was kind of like, no, I would really rather, like, say, maybe do those on the grill or just to do something different with it. And again, I had the canned chicken. I knew that would work out well in this casserole. All right, so we've got that all smushed down, and then we're going to go in with our Swiss cheese. Now, Swiss cheese is the go-to for this, but if you do not have Swiss, You could definitely use some, I don't know, some provolone, maybe some mozzarella. Again, this is more of an inspiration. So if you don't have all of these ingredients, you could maybe make something a little bit different, but kind of, again, draw inspiration from this. So I have to open up my other piece or my other package of Swiss, but we're just going to layer that over. Now, this is going to bake at 350 for about 20 to 25 minutes, just until all the cheese is nice and melty and everything's bubbly, so we know it'll be nice and hot to serve. I'm making this a little bit earlier in the day. I wanted to make sure I had enough time to film this for you because I do have some other things to do this afternoon. I have some phone calls and stuff to make, you know, oh, that stuff, and load of laundry. But anyways, I will show you what this looks like when it comes out, and then we'll give it a taste, okay? All right, guys. Okay guys, so while the casserole is in the oven, we are going to make some rice to have with it. So I was originally going to do a buttery cauliflower rice, but I decided that I want to do like a veggie fried rice because the meal is very rich and a little bit heavy. So I want something to kind of lighten it up. So I dug through the crisper and found some things and chopped it up. And I realized as I was putting it on the cutting board, everything's very green. So I had a little bit of green pepper left, so I chopped that up. I had some celery that was a little wilty, some green onion that I still have left, and also a little bit of cabbage. And then I have 2 cloves of garlic. So we're going to do that with our rice cauliflower. This is one that I get at one of my discount stores. The rice cauliflower, steam in a bag. I don't ever steam it in the bag though. I like to do it in the skillet. So I just kind of wanted to show you how I was going to do that. This is very similar to the fried rice that I do, minus the Asian seasonings that go in. So I hope to make that for you one day. But today we're just going to make, like I said, kind of like just a veggie rice. So I started with my pan. We're going to go ahead and get that going. Try not to melt our cutting board. And I'm going to put that on medium-low heat. And I'm going to go ahead and put some fat in the pan. So what I have is, this is chicken fat from when I roasted some chicken in the oven a few weeks ago. I always drain the fat and then the liquid that's on it. So, excuse me, it's almost like a bone broth kind of a deal. So it kind of gets jellified. So the fat rises to the top. So we're just going to take that off. And then we're also going to use that little bit of chicken broth stuff, the jellied broth, a little bit later once we add the cauliflower. So that'll just give it a little bit extra flavor. Now, of course, if you don't have this sitting in your fridge, use whatever fat that you have. Bacon fat would be fine, butter would be fine, just something so that you can fry up your vegetables. So we're just going to let this melt down, and then I'm going to add the vegetables to the pan. We're going to do those first and get those started, and then we'll add our cauliflower in. All right, guys, so my fat is melted in the skillet, so we're going to go ahead and start adding our vegetables. I'm just going to move this out of the way. All right, so we're going to go in with our green peppers. Like I said, this was a half of a green pepper that I had. Our celery. We have just a little bit of cabbage. And then I have 2 chopped green onions. So if you just have regular onion, that would work out fine. That's actually what I usually do for this. I have the green onions for another recipe that I'm going to do that I'm going to hope to share with you here in the next week or 2. I'll actually be making it tomorrow, but you won't see it for a couple of weeks. And that's really what I have the green onions for, but I knew that I wasn't going to use them all, so I went ahead and threw those in here too. So we're just going to let these cook down for a little bit. I'm just going to kind of get them a little bit wilted, and we'll season them up. I'll probably just do a little bit of salt and pepper, maybe some garlic powder. Once this starts to cook, I'm going to add the garlic, and then we're going to add the frozen cauliflower rice. Okay, so my vegetables have been sauteing for just a couple of minutes. I still want them to have a little bit of bite to them, again, just to add a little bit of texture. So we're going to go ahead and get our garlic, and we're going to pop that in here. So again, we have the heat pretty low, so we shouldn't have to worry about that burning. We're just going to give that a little toss and let that go for about another few seconds. And then we're going to go ahead, like I said, and throw in our frozen cauliflower rice. Now, I've told you before when I've made some cauliflower dishes, but if you've not watched them, which you should, then I'll just say again, I used to always rice my own cauliflower. When I first started doing this, cauliflower was relatively inexpensive, and I would just cut it up and put it through my food processor so it came out and it would look like rice. I never played with the frozen one because I'm like, well, why would you do that? You can just have it fresh. Well, fast forward a couple of years and cauliflower, the prices have just skyrocketed. It's crazy. I guess everybody's on the low carb bandwagon, so that's a good thing. But it's gotten really expensive. So now I did go ahead and bought my first bag of cauliflower rice and realized that I really was missing out on the convenience because it's just cauliflower. It's already been broken down. There's no seasoning. There's absolutely nothing added to it. It is just plain cauliflower. And it's a time saver. It's really inexpensive. And I always have bags of it in the freezer. I tend to buy it when it's on sale. And I buy a lot of it. So again, this is probably a side dish that we have, maybe even too much. I don't know. Everybody seems to like it. And I try to think of different ways to make it. You can use it in any dish that you would use rice. It just doesn't take as long to cook. So this is only going to cook down maybe 5 or 6 minutes. Like I said, not very long, just enough to give it a good, get it to defrost and then give it a little bit of a cook. And then we're going to serve this on the bottom of that chicken cordon bleu casserole. Again, this casserole is very rich and heavy, so it's going to fill you up. And so you need something a little bit lighter and brighter to have with it. I feel like it's important to have that balance. All right, so we're going to let that do its thing. I'm going to go ahead and add some seasoning. So I'm going to throw a little bit of salt in here. And remember, the cauliflower isn't seasoned at all, so it will pick up whatever you put in it. I'm also going to add a little bit of garlic powder, because I put garlic powder and onion powder in everything. And then some onion powder. I dropped a little bit of cauliflower on the floor there, Sophie's lapping that up. And then I also have some cracked black pepper. So I'm going to put a couple of smidges of that in there because, you know, we love black pepper. And then I'm going to let the cauliflower cook and kind of defrost there for just a couple of minutes. And then I'm going to go ahead and add that little bit of chicken broth that I have. So this, again, is just to add a little bit of flavor to it. If you don't have it, that is absolutely fine. You can just serve it like this. It's still going to be tasty and delicious as long as you season it. Don't forget to taste it. If you do happen to have maybe even, I don't know, like some of that bouillon that you can just mix with water, you can just use like maybe like a half a teaspoon with a half a cup of water to add that in. That would work out just fine. So let me cook this for just another minute or two, and then we're going to add our broth. Okay, so we're ready to go ahead and throw this in. So like I said, just a little bit of that extra flavor. All right, so we're going to get that to melt down and liquefy. And then again, I'm just going to be cooking this for a few minutes. It's really easy. Don't be intimidated by the cauliflower rice. It's okay. You really can't mess it up. I mean, even if you do overcook it, it's just like kind of like mushy rice. It's fine. All right, guys, so that is what the cauliflower rice looks like. Doesn't it look good? I can't wait to have that. I'm going to go ahead and taste a little bit of this for you. Okay. Oh, the seasonings are just great. Okay, so I'm just, like I said, going to cook this for a few more minutes. Casserole should be out of the oven here momentarily, and then we'll be ready to plate up and eat. All right, guys, so here we go. Our casserole just came out of the oven. Again, we baked that at 350 for about 25 minutes, just until the cheese was nice and bubbly and brown around the edges. Now, if you have a broiler, you could also throw it under the broiler for a few minutes to brown up that cheese a little bit. My broiler is in the bottom part of my oven. I don't really use it. It's kind of difficult to get into. So we're just going to go as is, but it looks cheesy and wonderful. So I'm going to go ahead and get this plated up and we're going to give it a taste. All right, guys, dinner is done and we are ready to eat, but I wanted to give this a taste for you and let you know how it came out. I also did a little side of green beans. So I know the green beans are good. I already tasted those. I just threw those in a pan with a little bit of chicken fat and the chicken juices that I had left from when I made chicken probably like 3 weeks ago. But I always put that stuff in a container and throw it in the fridge, and then I can use it for vegetables because it really makes them delicious. So I just did those on the stove real quick. I didn't bother showing you because the green beans. All right, so, but we have a spoonful of our chicken cordon bleu. You're gonna like that. That came out really good. Nice and creamy. Oh, and that Swiss cheese. Oh, it's lovely. All right, guys, so we're gonna go sit and eat dinner. I hope that you will make something and share with me. Let me know what you made, what you like. Did you make this? Did you make something similar with ingredients that you had in your pantry or freezer? Let me know. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up if you like these videos, and I'll keep trying to make more. All right, guys, be good to each other. Love you. Peace.